Good evening. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. Dr. Bonilla's alleged killers taken to court. But did alleged mastermind Hannah Foreman actually smile at the victim's family when she walked out of court? We'll let you decide. And police say a business dispute led to the murder. We'll delve into the business partnership that the murder victim and the accused had. Plus, Manatiman Jamal Galvez talks about the dredging moratorium. He explains its importance, and we'll show you a man convicted of murder today. These stories and much more are ahead on 7 News tonight, so please stay tuned.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
As promised, the bridge linking the twin towns of San Ignacio and Santa Elena to 6 vibrant communities in Cayo Northeast is nearing completion. And as promised, the MIDH has done it using the refurbished Haulover Bridge, which once stood over the Haulover Creek and now graces the McCall River. We believe in providing meaningful links and infrastructure which immediately benefits communities, and we believe in value for every dollar spent. This bridge is an investment which will keep on giving for many years to come.
Personally, that bridge got me excited because it comes with a lot of benefits. You know, the first and foremost is that it reduces transportation time, you know, by 15 to 20 minutes. Depends by, you know, I know nobody to rush by the bridge, but it definitely, some people are in a 5 or a little bit more minutes, they're gonna reach Santa Elena. So if you, let's say, if you have an emergency, you know, per se, you are rush somebody to Lomalos, that bridge just perfect.
I think that is a great privilege for us that the government is giving us. I believe that it benefits to many of us here in the community. First of all, to our teachers that they travel to come all the way, maybe from Cayo, Santa Elena. It's a more closer way for them to transport to school.
This is a blessing for the whole, well, not just for Santa Familia, but the whole Cayo district. This is going to help us a lot. It's going to bring more people. It's going to be more accessible for people to get to Santa Familia. People that, a lot of people don't know where Santa Familia is located. So I've been talking to a lot of people, they know where. They just go see it on the map, but they don't know exactly. It's going to be very convenient for us.
Can we forget all about the calamity in the health system during 13 years of the UDP with Pablo Marin as minister and Peter Allen as CEO? Raccoons falling out of the ceiling on patients at KHMH. Rats biting newborn babies at Western Regional Hospital. 13 babies dying at the KHMH in 22 days. Hundreds of thousands of dollars gone missing at Southern Regional Hospital, according to the Auditor General. And due to the minister and CEO's incompetence, we lost $30 million in free money from the European Union to expand Western Regional Hospital.
About the hospital that we wanted to do in Belmopan. Yes, the funds were there with the EU, but it was EU funds. It happened that there was some kind of problems from the EU that we couldn't get the funds anymore, so that hospital is not going to be done right now.
While this was happening, Belmopan was losing a portion of the Philip Golson Boulevard to Pablo Marin, acquired and fenced in as private property. How can we ever forget those 13 years under Dean Barrow, Pablo Marin, and UDP? One set of people who should never again talk about healthcare is the UDP.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time, they were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
At Sbarro, every pizza starts with the freshest ingredients, handmade just for you. Enjoy fast, seamless service. Hot, fresh, and ready to go. Sbarro, Club of the Slice. XL sizes for whole and sliced pizzas, ready whenever you are. Closer to you than ever, now with 2 locations. Sbarro in Publix Coney Drive and Sbarro in Publix Express next to Transparent BPO. Same great pizza, twice the convenience.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We begin our newscast with one of our top stories this evening. It's the murder plot that has transfixed and rattled the nation. A 26-year-old laboratory scientist from Belmopan allegedly contracted a 37-year-old Roaring Creek resident to kill her colleague, Dr. Naun Bonilla, with whom she had an ongoing business dispute with. Well, today at the Belmopan Magistrates Court, alleged mastermind Hannah Foreman and alleged hitman Edwin Betran were arraigned for the murder of Dr. Bonilla. 7 News was there, and our very own Jaleesa Roberts reports.
This morning, just after 8:30 a.m., courthouse observers and supporters of the Bonilla family started making their way out to the Belmopan Magistrates Court for the arraignment of alleged conspirators Hannah Foreman and Edwin Betran Jr. for the murder of Dr. Naun Bonilla. They hoisted posters, colorful and proud, in a display of solidarity with the cause of justice. At a little after 9, the duo arrived in a police pickup, and they were whisked into the courtroom with silence from a crowd but grief in the air. Inside, they were each read 1 count of murder and remanded. After 1 hour, they exited the courtroom in cuffs and were pushed to the back of a police pickup for that long ride to Hattaville. while family members, friends, colleagues, and patients of Dr. Bonilla shouted for justice. Both alleged killers shocked the crowd with small gestures. They appeared to smirk, maybe even smile, and one nodded. It seemed almost in knowing approval. We spoke outside the court with the attorney for Edwin Mithran Jr., Arthur Saldivar, who stressed that it's early going yet.
It's a very early stage. No documentation has yet been presented. But suffice it to say, we know that this is a very highly scrutinized case. The fact that Dr. Bonilla was murdered is not lost on anyone. Certainly, on both sides of the bar, we want justice to be done. Justice for Dr. Bonilla is important. And justice for Dr. Bonilla means that the right persons are before the court. If they are the right persons and the evidence holds up, then the outcome will be what it should be. If it is that they are not the right persons, and all persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty, then the outcome will be justice in that respect as well. At the onset, we would hope that the investigation is thorough, and we would hope that the procedures were followed. And if that is the case, then there will be no issues going forward as to whether or not right has been done and a wrong has been corrected.
And while he is representing Mithran Jr., Dickie Bradley is representing Foreman, but was not at court this morning. Outside the courtroom, the family was heartbroken over the reactions of those accused of killing their beloved Naun.
Did you see the smirk on Miss Hannah's face? I hope you got it. Miss Hannah thinks all of this is a joke. She's laughing not only at the grieving family, but out of our justice system because she just got arraigned for a murder charge and she's laughing. Why is she laughing? Does she think our system is a joke or she has something that we don't know? Is there more to this? I hope that all the people involved are seeing this. People of Belize, we have been bleeding for way too long. They did not only take away a life, but a lifesaver. And that is crazy. The effort of so many years of hard work. You know, Dr. Naun was 36 years old. After high school, he spent 14 years studying abroad to get qualified, to come back and work. And he barely got to work 7 years, not even 7 years.
And in those 7 years, he was able to gain many colleagues who enjoyed working with him. He was labeled as hardworking and motivated to make a difference in the field. But with him now gone, they feel the emptiness in the office.
We lose a fellow servant of humanity. I mean, we serve people. I mean, in the healthcare setting, it's all you ever obsess about. How to better serve people. How to meet people at their worst. Absorb their energy. He was a leader in that realm, right? He taught us with grief, other people's grief, how to not bring in your own baggage to work. So it's something that we don't know how to process.
The co-accused next appear in court on September 1st. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
And while the arraignment has taken place, many questions remain about how investigators were able to hone in on the two suspects. At today's press briefing, police explained in detail the multi-layered investigation to find Dr. Naun's killers. Jaleesa Roberts takes a deeper look.
Police believe that the murder of Dr. Naun Ulysses Bonilla was not a random act of violence, but rather the result of a coordinated plan involving more than one individual, according to details emerging from the police investigation. 1 week after the respected physician was gunned down in broad daylight while driving through Belmopan, police put together an unusual murder investigation, utilizing digital forensics and money trails to link the two suspects, who come from different worlds.
What I will say is that this investigation was a very intense one, as with all of our investigation. However, on this occasion, we were able to leverage a lot of the tools that have been implemented with the transitioning of the department into a more technologically sound department. We relied heavily on the public safety monitoring unit and the camera system that they have there. We also relied heavily on the digital forensics unit of the Belize Police Department Cybercrime Unit. Similarly, great assistance came from the Financial Intelligence Unit, and certainly the diligence of the police officers who spent extraordinary amount of time, the investigators, going through a number of footage which helped to paint a picture and take us to where we are now.
But a concern for many, including his family, is whether or not the charge of murder will stick on to Foreman, being that she was not at the scene. She allegedly hired hitman Bethran to do the deed, but never pulled the trigger herself. Despite this, police were able to explain how for the first time in history, a charge like this has been laid.
What I will say, without getting into too much specifics, because as you are aware, it's a matter that is before the court, is that the charge follows the principle of joint enterprise, which pretty much states that when two persons plan or commit an offense together, they can be liable for the independent conduct of each other. So even where a person may not have pulled the trigger that caused the demise of the other person, that person can still be liable for murder because there is some indication of their involvement in the planning of the act. And that is the extent to which I will discuss. And I know I cannot recall any within my time frame whereby we have had persons who were not physically on the scene or playing an accessory role in an incident being arrested for murder. I can't recall in my time, and when I spoke to ACP Romero, he said he cannot recall any in his time as well. So it is the first of its kind, and it is for that reason we are moving very intently and scrupulously, because we do not want to prejudice this case. It's a very heart-wrenching and tragic loss. Every loss is significant and important. However, Dr. Bonilla, by all indication, was a person who devoted his very short life to saving lives of others and impacting the community with which he served.
So for now, families and friends are having some form of relief in what could have been one of the hardest weeks of their life. For now, this case goes to September 1st. Talisa Roberts, 7 News.
And we take a break now, but when we come back, we'll look at the muddled business dispute between Dr. Bonilla and Ms. Foreman. And you'll hear how things got worse after their business got a lucrative NHI contract. Plus, Manitiman Jamal Galvez tells us why the moratorium on dredging is important for nature to recover. Stay tuned for more news.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
We're here to commemorate the start of the construction of a STEAM pavilion.
It will be a place where students will be able to explore engineering, science, technology, arts, mathematics. A place where curiosity is encouraged, where ideas are truly put to the test.
This pavilion will feature state-of-the-art learning zones, including a fully equipped science laboratory for real-world experimentation, a modern recording studio to unleash creative and digital expression, an innovative maker space to encourage invention and prototyping, a collaborative learning street designed to foster spontaneous discussion and teamwork, dedicated storage rooms, of course, we have quite a bit to do, so where will we put it? And facilities integrated with mechanical and electrical rooms to seamlessly support operations.
This new addition to our school will create more opportunities for us to conduct more experiments and those fun stuff like that.
I believe that this STEAM project will help students to be able to put their skills to the test.
I am excited for this opportunity, and I'm pretty sure that it will benefit my colleagues and also myself.
These STEAM pavilions are an expansion from our investment that we made through the ITSAT STEAM Academy in Belize City. These pavilions will be expanded, one in each district across the country, and this is just the beginning.
The biggest tournament requires the ultimate streaming experience with NextGen TV. Win with NextGen. Pay your bill or sign up for a NextGen bundle plan for a chance to win a 43, 55, or up to 65-inch smart TV bundle, a brand new soundbar, and many more prizes. Get ready to witness football history being made with NextGen. Not a NextGen TV subscriber yet? Contact us to subscribe today. NextGen TV, your stadium at home.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Continuing with our top stories this evening, at the top of the newscast, you saw the arraignment of the two persons accused of Dr. Naun Bonia's murder. But why would anyone execute the doctor the way that they did? Well, police say he was not linked to any criminal activity. However, he was in a business dispute with accused Miss Rebecca Foreman. We took a deeper look at the legal exchanges between the two.
These are the businesses that Dr. Naun Bonia and Hannah Foreman had jointly formed as a partnership in November of 2023. Insights Medical Clinic and Belmopan Medical Laboratory, headquartered here at the Emporium building on Nimli Punit Street in Belmopan.
When they first connected, I think he perceived a person like him, eager to grow, passionate about what they were doing and their beliefs and helping people and, involved in the medical field.
A partnership formed with each of them investing $50,000. Foreman did this when she was 24 years old. And then in January of 2026, the business secured a lucrative NHI services contract. Foreman said in her deposition, that's when Dr. Bonia tried to push her out of the business. But he told his family that's when he found out she was trying to steal the contract from their partnership.
The final straw that took my brother make the decision to carry this to court was with the NHI contract that they had bid for. When the contract was, when they won the bid, they still have not signed the contract. She had corresponded back to NHI stating that the contract would be signed under a different business name, a business that had nothing to do with my brother. Now, being my brother was also part of the applications, they called him and said, Bonia, what is happening? Because we just received this correspondence. And he said, categorically, this has nothing to do with me. This business is not my business. I have no interest in this business, and this contract cannot be signed because that business is not the one that we bid under. We found out that that business belonged solely to Ms. Hannah Foreman.
The revelation forced Bonia to get an attorney and sent her a lawyer letter with an offer to buy her out of the business. In the letter, he alleged financial misappropriation, clinical and administrative malpractice, and unauthorized ownership change, and forging the doctor's signature on official documents submitted to the Belize Companies Registry, allegedly to execute an unauthorized ownership change.
My brother had been gathering evidence for over a year because he realized that on days that he wouldn't be here, say all day, or the days that he wouldn't come, business was bad, or there would be only 2 or 3 transactions for the smallest amount of money is possible. And then my brother started even going as far as coming back at the end of the day, going through the day's activities and collecting even trash. And so he was able to put back together some of the receipts.
But she rejected those conclusions, and she filed suit against the doctor, also rejecting his $20,000 buyout offer. She said that since February, he had illegally locked her out of the business and taken steps to oust her completely. That was an illegal breach of the terms of the partnership, and she asked the court to dissolve it. Her suit was processed on April 20th, and Bonia was executed 6 weeks later on May 29th. Police believe the business dispute was the motive.
That is certainly the aspect that this investigation is disclosing, namely a dispute over a business situation gone awry.
Do you ever feel like his life was threatened?
Never, that I know of. But again, maybe she was trying to shield us or just to keep it to himself. But I never perceived that from him nor from her, because we used to come in here and she would smile with us. And she would talk to us because we know where she is from, we know her background.
But if the police are correct, they did not know how far she might go. Is there any indication why, if many people are involved in civil suits involving large sums of money, is there any indication why she allegedly would have escalated it to take out a hit on the doctor?
I don't think there is any situation that can justify any allegation of anybody or any propensity of anybody to decide to step aside from the lawfully organized court system when it comes to ventilating grievances to escalating it elsewhere.
It did not even come to my mind. It slipped my mind completely that she would ever consider anything other than settling, legally like a normal person would do.
Persons who have gone on and acquired education and acquired a level of comfort and thriving professionally, resorting to those in the vulnerable communities to be tools for them is very disheartening. And for me, it is an indication of the moral degradation and the fact that education alone does not secure morality.
I think he was fooled by her. She was able to just, she was a snake, man. That is it.
I have to ask, was there any personal aspect to their relationship?
No.
And we stress that no criminal complaint for theft had been made against Hannah Rebecca Foreman. As for the litigation, it was in its early stages, and the court found that the matter had to go to full trial. Meanwhile, in other news, justice was served late this afternoon in the Belize High Court as a dual guilty verdict was handed down against 31-year-old Shaquille Pereira for a brazen Christmas Eve shooting that left one man dead and another fighting for his life. Justice Nigel Pilgrim found Pereira guilty of the murder of Darnell Puerto and guilty of the attempted murder of Javon Ramclam. The convictions stem from a deadly ambush on December 24th of 2023 on Moscow Street. While Puerto died on the spot, Ramclam survived the gunfire, ultimately taking the witness stand to deliver the crucial testimony that secured justice for his deceased friend. In delivering his judgment, Justice Pilgrim stated he found Ramclam to be credible, honest, and reliable. Ramclam also told the court he could never forget the shooter's face because Pereira was also responsible for a previous shooting involving his brother. In his doc statement, Pereira maintained his innocence, claiming he did not know the victims and provided an alibi, stating he was elsewhere at the time of the shooting. Shaquille Pereira has been remanded to the Belize Central Prison, awaiting sentencing in July. And yesterday, a home invasion was reported in Cristo Rey Village, but quick police work resulted in apprehension of one man and the seizure of a firearm. In this case, the neighborhood watch had a big part to play in the arrests. Here's more.
Police have detained one male person and recovered a firearm and a piece of jewelry as a consequence of a response and subsequent investigation into an aggravated burglary which occurred on 4th June 2026 in Cristo Rey Village, Cayo District. The investigation commenced at around 9:30 a.m. when San Ignacio police were advised that an aggravated burglary was in process at a residence on the outskirts of Cristo Rey Village. The officers responded immediately, and upon their arrival, they observed two male persons fleeing from the residence, and a pursuit ensued, which resulted in the apprehension of one of the male persons and the recovery of a .22 pistol, along with live rounds of ammunition, as well as an item of jewelry belonging to the homeowner. What we have learned so far in the course of this investigation is that the homeowner, being a 66-year-old female, stated that she had just came from outside, left from inside of her vehicle when she was accosted by two male persons who forced her into her house at gunpoint, and they proceeded to ransack the residence, packaging a number of items. However, when they heard a vehicle approaching, presumably the police's mobile, they fled, making off with solely the jewelry because they were not able to take the other items that they had packaged.
Was it simply a crime of opportunity, or was she at a residence that's known to have high value items?
I believe incidents of such are not crimes of opportunity. That's why on previous occasion, I would have stated the importance of neighborhood watch and persons investing in security systems, cameras, and persons simply just being aware of their surroundings, because much like a few other incidents that I reported in the past in the same Kayo district, it happens when these persons are coming outside of their vehicle, which suggests that persons are laying in the wait. And I must say that on this occasion, it is because of the community's recognition of strange persons within their area that a call was made, and police was able to intercede and bring this matter to the arrest that it has.
Meanwhile, last month, several ministers, as well as the special envoy, agreed that the sex offenders registry should be publicly accessed. Currently, it exists but can only be accessed with written permission from the Ministry of Home Affairs. But yesterday, an amendment to the criminal code was introduced in the House of Representatives to make it public. Here's more.
The amendment expands the list of sexual offenses for which a convicted sexual offender becomes subject to sex notification requirements. There's also an amendment to Section 65A, removing the requirement or need for a member of the public to apply for permission to have access to the National Sex Offenders Database, and instead to allow for general access to the public. I know that is one that has attracted a lot of public debate, but I believe that putting it in the hands of the public to have access can only create greater measures of safety and security for families and their children.
The bill was introduced for first readings and now goes to the committee. And now we take our attention all the way down to City River and Hopkins. City River, a Creole village, and Hopkins, a Garifuna village, are in the midst of a boundary review process. And last night, the City River Village Council issued a public statement addressing it. The council emphasized that City River, which was established in 1800s, has been long a welcoming community, attracting residents, investors, and visitors from diverse backgrounds, both within Belize and internationally. The council noted that the village's growth has been shaped by people of different cultures and nationalities, and pledged to continue working collaboratively with all members of the community. Addressing concerns surrounding the boundary review, the council stated that its objective is not to create division with neighboring communities, but to achieve clarity and certainty for future development. According to the council, clearly established boundaries are essential for effective planning, infrastructure development, environmental stewardship, land management, public services, and good governance. The council stressed that both communities share a long history as neighbors and expressed a commitment to maintaining mutual respect, cooperation, and peaceful coexistence regardless of the outcome of the review process. And stay tuned after the break. Manatee Man Jamal Galvez tells us why the moratorium on dredging is important for stressed out marine animals. Stay tuned for more news.
Please You're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Honorable J.C. Tager Panton and the United Democratic Party support the loan motion that is for the development of education in Belize.
The opposition supports this loan motion, and we ask that the additional information that is required be brought to this honorable house.
So don't be distracted by all the noise and propaganda. We simply demand transparency and accountability.
We request a detailed multi-ministry coordination framework showing how the CEU, Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Human Development will execute this project without delays that have plagued similar structures. And we request a reporting obligation to Parliament, not just to the IDA, for the impact evaluation with defined matrix, timelines, and consequence mechanisms.
Be assured that this opposition will do what it takes to hold this administration to account.
And we ask that the additional information that is required be brought to this honorable house so that this government can be true to its commitment to establishing the gold standard in transparency and accountability.
How can we forget all about the calamity in the health system during 13 years of the UDP with Pablo Marin as minister and Peter Allen as CEO? Raccoons falling out of the ceiling on patients at KHMH. Rats biting newborn babies at Western Regional Hospital. 13 babies dying at the KHMH in 22 days. Hundreds of thousands of dollars gone missing at Southern Regional Hospital, according to the Auditor General. And due to the minister and CEO's incompetence, we lost $30 million in free money from the European Union to expand Western Regional Hospital.
About the hospital that we wanted to do in Belmopan. Yes, the funds were there with the EU, but it was EU funds. It happened that there was some kind of problems from the EU that we couldn't get the funds anymore, so that hospital is not going to be done right now.
While this was happening, Belmopan was losing a portion of the Philip Golson Boulevard to Pablo Marin, acquired and fenced in as private property. How can we ever forget those 13 years under Dean Barrow, Pablo Marin, and UDP? One set of people who should never again talk about healthcare is the UDP.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us. They facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that we didn't have in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast with a story about child rape. 27-year-old call center employee Jassim Bent was arraigned this morning on charges of rape of a child, attempted rape, and harm. This follows allegations by a 12-year-old primary school student that she was raped after she and two friends, who are also minors, went to Lion King Club on King Street with two men on May 25th. When the victim went to use the bathroom, one of the men she was with followed her and raped her. After the incident, the victim went back to the bar with her friends. Afterwards, the three minors and two men went to Bent's home, where Bush allegedly tried to rape her again. However, she bit him twice, causing him to let her go. No plea was taken from Bent, and he was remanded until August 25th. And now turning our attention to the new screwworm. The flesh-eating New World screwworm has officially reached the United States after tearing through Central America and Mexico. The U.S. Department of Agriculture confirmed the country's first domestic livestock case in decades after the parasite was discovered in a 3-week-old calf in Texas. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that the state is working closely with federal agencies to contain the invasive pest. The USDA has already established a 20-kilometer control zone and is deploying millions of sterile male flies to disrupt the reproductive cycle of wild populations. Meanwhile, Mexican cattle producers are waiting to see what will happen. The U.S. had already closed its southern border to live Mexican livestock imports last year as a preventative measure to this issue. And now we turn our attention back to one of our top stories. The government has implemented a 6-month moratorium on mining and dredging activities in Placencia, Lagoon, and Ambergris Key. Well, today we spoke with the Manatee Man himself, Jamal Galvez, who explained that the lagoon in particular has taken hit after hit and desperately needs this time to recover. He added that the effects of the dredging on the environment can be seen in the blood samples of the manatees in the area. Here's more on that story.
Moratorium is significant. It's way more than people may see it to be. But that Placencia Lagoon, as I mentioned, is a very important habitat, not just salmon and this, for crocodiles, for sport fishing, birds, all different species. But it has been beaten, literally, and haven't had any break at all. And so this moratorium, I believe, is going to give it the much needed break that it needs for it to start that recovery process. It's not going to happen in 1 month, it's not going to happen in 2 months. So I hope that the government holds for it, and that we put measures in place to hold that moratorium in place. And it's not just a moratorium on paper, it's actionable, it's enforceable. Everybody in that community, if you're on a boat, if you live near the lagoon, you're the observer, you're the police of that area. And when you see something, you have to say something, report it, document it, so that the media can cover it, so that we hold these individuals accountable, because in the end, only us in Belize are going to lose. Placencia Lagoon has already been devastated by sargassum. And now we're having Placencia Beach has already been devastated by sargassum, and now we're having this problem in the lagoon system. We're running down that important tourism destination, so we want to safeguard that jewel, you know. And this I believe is going to help significantly. Certainly when you drive that lagoon and you see those heavy equipment literally tearing down, taking down our resources. It hurts. It's significant. I mean, I've been working in Placentia Lagoon for 20 years, and I've literally seen the decline, and it has gotten to the brink where I feel that it's almost there. I've broken. So I think it's the moratorium is timely. Certainly, it's going to, like I said, it's going to take time. But for me, having that in place is important for our conservation efforts because we've worked there for 20 years. We've seen the decline in manatees' health. We actually take blood samples from manatees, and I can tell you 20 years ago to now is a significant difference.
And we also asked Galvez what he thought about Albert Lowen's comment that dredging in the Placencia Lagoon was actually beneficial to the marine life because, as Lowen puts it, all wildlife loves deeper water. Galvez explained that this is completely inaccurate.
They didn't go there for deeper waters. If they wanted deeper waters, they would have gone to open sea. These lagoons provide shelter for these areas. Because it's sheltered, it's the mangrove, it's not rough, it's not deep, and that's specifically why they're there. Because seagrass grows better in shallow waters. You're making the water deeper doesn't help. What they're doing is tearing out the sediments, disturbing the soil, the mercury, the trace elements that eventually makes its way to seagrass. Manatees actually eat seagrass and observe these. And when manatees take in these trace elements, we see it in the blood samples. Trace elements are elements that they cannot get rid of. It doesn't kill them, but it affects their longevity, it affects reproductivity, affects their lifestyle, their livelihood. So that is significant. Making the lagoon deeper is not the point.
And now we turn our attention to a story about the Caribbean Development Bank. Belize has officially taken the helm of the Caribbean Development Bank, assuming the rotating chairmanship of the board of directors during the closing ceremony of the bank's 56th annual meeting in Nassau. The transition marks a major milestone for Belize, which was also announced as the official host country for the 57th annual meeting in June 2027. Belize last chaired the board and hosted the event over 3 decades ago in May 1994. Dr. Osman Martinez, Belize's alternate governor to this CDB, accepted the leadership role on behalf of Prime Minister John Brisenia. And in other news, the Belize National Unmanned Aircraft System Industry Association, which is an advocacy group for drone operators, issued a press release today stating that they have been trying to collaborate with the Department of Civil Aviation so that manned and unmanned aircraft can coexist safely, but they have not received responses from the department. According to the release, BNUIA believes the department is trying to rush through the process instead of meaningfully consulting. They are trying to implement restrictions that will damage Belize's drone industry. In addition, they issued a Freedom of Information request over 30 days ago and still have not gotten a response. Today, we spoke with the president who explained more in detail.
We've been attempting to reach out to the Belize Department of Civil Aviation to meet with them, go over the entire document, work line by line to make sure that we get this thing right. We have to get this thing right. In Belize, they say we have a unique air system. Well, if we have a unique air system, then it would be in their best interest to go through it with the stakeholders and all the drone operators to let them know, you know what, hey, this is what we need to do. Belize, again, is, like they say, unique, but what makes it so unique? That's what we've been asking. Because there's other Caribbean countries and other Central American countries that has airspace similar to ours. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we need to do is we need to come to common sense regulations that works for Belize. What we had requested in the FOIA is basically statistical data that would have proven from the BDCA why they are being so strict and why the regulations are being overly stringent on the drone operators. Because if you look at that if you look at the actual document, and I've said it in my last interview, the legalese or the verbiage of it is so, the regular person will not understand it. It needs to be understandable. If you can't understand it, how can you follow a rule that you can't understand? There's so many industries right now that are utilizing drones, from mining to GIS, which is mapping. They're doing it for archaeology. They're doing it for conservation. They're doing it for real estate. They're doing it for tourism. They're doing it for cinematography, and so many others. I can't miss agricultural. It is very important in many of these industries, and there's so many industries that have still yet to use drones. Belize is behind the curve when it comes to using drones, but putting or implementing regulations that basically ground the drone operators is not in the best interest of it, because what's happening is they don't have the technology, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the enforcement to be able to implement, to put something in place, and then behind it follow up with the enforcement of it.
The association has issued a notice of a FOIA breach to the CEO of Civil Aviation, BDCA, and other ministries. And that's all we have for you on 7 News on this Friday night. Thank you so much for watching. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi. You can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a good night and a great weekend, and join us back here on Monday night. Have a good weekend, folks.